What is up, people? It is me, Monster58, and welcome back to another video review. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Core Class Terrorcon Novokane, who is just a slight retool and a repaint of the Transformers Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Core Class Freezer, which came out a little while ago. And so this is obviously one of the second of the two of those, four-armed, essentially like reworked frenzy bots that Scourge, had to try and kill Noah, as well as, man, I can't, for the life of me, I cannot remember her name. The other, main character, I just cannot remember her name in the movie. I can't even remember her actress name. Damn it. I'm sorry about that. But regardless, guys, you exactly know who I'm talking about. And so this is obviously a figure to represent one of the two of those Terracons that went and attacked them. So taking a look at the box here, you can see the Terracon logo, Terracon Novokane, Transformers Rise of the Beasts, Transformers, you have Generations up here as well, Studios Series, more nice artwork there of Novokane himself, more nice artwork there, bit more on the side with the core class stuff in different languages, and then finally the back, which has your obligatory product shots, transforms in 12 steps. So yeah, the scene here is just the museum scene, obviously where these guys mainly appeared in, and so I think that is it for the box, really. As per usual, they do a really good job with the box, and so without further ado, alright folks, here we have the Transformers Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Core Class Terracon Novokane in his turret mode, and yeah, it's cool. I mean, it just looks funky because of the way the legs don't really tab in. I mean, they're just plainly out here. I mean, but the front looks fine. It's just the main issue I have with this thing is trying to get it to stand correctly. These arms don't like to tab in the best because of the way that the tabs are. And so for me, it's just really annoying to try to get this guy like to have everything nicely tabbed together and sat down correctly. I'm mostly going to have this guy in robot mode, which is why I ended up buying it anyway. But it's okay. I mean, I'll say that the paint is really nice. You can see very nice detail for a little core class figure. All across the board, you have this, dark, greenish gray with all these yellow and gold accents. It's really, really nice. And you have the dark gray to contrast it as well. Very nice going across here. The barrel is also nicely painted in silver. Again, very well painted. You can see where, the arms are, where the turret stands are. It looks really good. I mean, overall, I think that the actual paint looks pretty fantastic on this for a core class figure. It's just the functionality is a bit to be desired, but it does look pretty cool. It's just those legs that look really funky to me. Alright, so when it comes to the turret mode, like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just, man, the functionality and a little bit of the look specifically from the back just do not look great to me. And so we're going to do some quick comparisons with other Transformers. So we're going to set this guy off to the side here. Here he is with the Core Class Noah. As you can see that these two scale relatively nicely together. Noah should be a tad bit smaller than Novokane as well as Freezer, which he definitely is. But, a human versus the Terracon, I believe that the Terracons were still slightly bigger, especially if you had them stand like straight up or something like that. They were a bit bigger. Not much bigger than an average human, but they were big enough, right? And so this is a pretty solid scale. Here it is with the Deluxe Class Bumblebee from Rise of the Beasts from Studio Series. As you can see, these two scale together alright. It should be probably a bit smaller in relation, obviously, Bumblebee with a human that can fit inside of him. But still, I think it's alright, not too bad. Anyways, it's a core class figure. You're not going to get the scale 100% accurate. Here he is with the Leader Class Scourge, and as you can see, this is where I'm going to end up showing at some point the extra features that this guy has. So this guy has some other features. Mainly, he's technically a triple changer, even though I don't... It's a triple changer, not a triple changer. I don't know how to say it. It's like, it's slightly different. It's not, like, completely different. But, yeah, he is a slightly, he's considered technically a triple changer. But, yeah, you can see these two, Leader Class versus Core Class. Obviously, there's going to be a massive size difference between these two guys. But, overall, just wanted to show this off because this guy has special features with a Scourge. So, overall, pretty solid stuff. Alrighty, and the last comparison is going to be with his mold mate, going to be Freezer. As you can see, these guys mainly are different in terms of the paint on them. You can really see it there, and also you'll see it in the head sculpt, but mainly it's just the paint. You can see this guy's more of this bronzy orange. This guy has yellow and gold on him, so not really that crazy of a difference. It's mainly in the head that you'll see the difference between these two. But yeah, overall, these two look nice together, and I'm glad to at least have them in my collection so that, you know, we can add some more Terrorcons to the list and the display. Alrighty, folks, we're going to get into our first transformation. So our first transformation is actually very, very simple. All you have to do is you have to take these arms and you're going to unpeg them. They don't take much effort to unpeg from one another. Keep the arms in the front the way that they are, and all you got to do is, you can see here, there are tab holes here on the sides of the legs, and then when you twist the arm around like this tab right here will just go right into this. So I'm going to do that, bend it a little bit, and then just tab this into place. Yeah, it's a little tough. There we go. Got that tabbed into place. It should sort of rotate it up as well. And also, I forgot, you have to push the legs in like that. Then you can rotate this up. And then you can just tab that into place. Goodness me. Come on. There we go. And that's one of the transformations. And what you can do with this mode, so we'll just kind of straighten it all out, is we'll bring in Scourge here. Essentially, I think these are technically supposed to tab in here, but what I end up doing is just resting it like here, and they show in the instructions that this is one of the things that you can do. You can essentially have it rest inside the cannon here, and then you can have it, you know, like an extra gun for Scourge if you really want it to. And speaking of that, there is a second transformation that we're going to get into here in a second that I'll also end up showing. So this is one feature you can do. It's okay. I mean, it's extra play value, which is nice, but for me, this is just completely pointless. Again, it's cool that they added it, but I'm personally never ever going to use this, and this is probably the only time I'll ever do it, and you'll ever see it. So just wanted to show this off because this was a feature that was noted in the instructions. So yeah, that's really it for this. I'm going to actually remove these, and then we're going to get into the other transformation right away because it's really not that different. So what we're going to do here is, you can see here that there are tab holes on either side, these ones in particular, right there and there. And then when you flip the arm around like this, what you're going to notice is you can see that there's a tab there on the inside of the arm. All you got to do is tab this here, like so. So again, take this and then just rotate it around, and then just tab this into place. Like that. And then what you can do is you come down here to the bottom, and then you'll notice that there is a little notch here, and you got to have a fingernail or something like a tweezers and pull that out. And here's a little tab, and then now Novokane can be used as a gun, and you have the same functionality here with Freezer. So what I'm going to end up doing is set this guy here. I'll transform Scourge, and I'll be back in a second. Alright, folks, here we have Scourge in his robot mode, and then what you can do is, very simply, you have the one hand with the circle tab in it, so you can just take this guy and you can just plug him in like that, and now Scourge has a gun, and a ridiculous looking gun, but a gun nonetheless. So it's cool that there's this functionality. It just does, I don't care for it. Like, it's nice, and there's playability there, so all the power to you guys if you do think that this is like something you might end up doing for a display. I just don't care for it, but very, very cool that they at least have it. Otherwise, just not for me. So, yep, there's that. Alrighty, and with that all out of the way, time to get into the transformation, which is really easy. I mean, there's nothing really to show amazingly. So, you're just going to take the arms, we're going to remove them like this, take the other arms and untab them as well. Just sort of straighten out the legs, and all you got to do is flip this down, flip this around, then flip this entire section like so. Flip the gun in, rotate this down. Oh yeah, flip the post, by the way. Flip that down, set this guy around, and then just sort of position the arms. Move the head like so. And ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Core Class Terrorcon Novokane in his pretty cool looking robot mode. And yeah, guys, at the end of the day, this is how he looked. I mean, I don't really see any major, like problems with this thing in terms of its robot mode. It's just that functionality of some of the transformation stuff, and we'll see that. You'll definitely see that when we go back into his turret mode. It's just, man, the functionality on that in particular is really kind of suck. Like, it's just things don't like to tap in together. But we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the robot mode. Robot mode's pretty cool. You can see all that nice detail still comes out here right there in the chest and the abdomen and the arms as well, and the feet. He doesn't really have a backpack at all, so that's really nice. His head is really freaking cool. You can see like one side is like singed off, so that's really nice. And I think that when it comes to this figure as a whole, this is where this figure shines, is in its robot mode, because this is really all we saw it. I don't ever think we saw it in his not his robot mode. I don't think we ever saw him transform into a turret or anything along those lines, or even a gun. I could be absolutely wrong. It's been a minute since I've watched that movie again. But yeah, pretty solid robot mode, and I have nothing major to complain about. And so we're going to do the usual. So we're going to set this guy off to the side here. We're probably going to set this guy a bit back, and we're going to zoom out a bit, because we're going to need to zoom out, because all the other Transformers are going to be, or a good chunk of them are going to be bigger than this guy. So we're going to do some comparisons as per usual. So here is Novokane. Alrighty, folks, here he is with Noah. As you can see, Noah's actually a bit taller than Novokane is, but in a way, I kind of wouldn't put it past it if he was with the exosuit on. So I personally think that this is absolutely perfectly fine. Now, I know I said in the vehicle modes that Noah was a tad bit smaller, and he did feel a tad bit smaller. But still, I think that this is a really solid scale here in their robot modes, or in Noah's just not jet mode. Here he is with the Deluxe Class Mirage. As you can see, obviously, Deluxe versus Core, there's going to be a big difference there, but I think that these two scale pretty well together. Same here with the Bumblester. Here we have Bumblebee, the Studio Series Deluxe Class Rise of the Beast one. As you can see, these two are perfectly fine scaling with one another. Again, Bumblebee and Mirage are about the same height, so you guys can get an idea of how big this guy is. Alrighty, here he is with Scourge. As you can see, that there's a massive difference between these two. Obviously, Leader versus Core, and obviously, Scourge can use him as a gun and hold him, so there's going to be a big size difference. But just wanted to show this off, because obviously these two have features with one another, so wanted to show that off. And finally, here he is with his mold mate Freezer. As you can see, the major differences, like I said, are in the color, but mainly also in the head sculpts. As you can see, head sculpts are completely different in terms of this guy has like a singed, half of his face singed off, this guy doesn't. Really, really cool overall. Again, I like the differentiation, even though it wouldn't be the easiest to tell. I'm happy that the fact that we have two of these guys, though, they are really awesome, I'll say, for troop building. If you do want troop builders, I actually think that these guys are really good for that. It's just those turret modes and the gun modes are just kind of meh and whatever to me. These guys are mainly here for their robot modes, and this is where they absolutely shine. So just wanted to show the differences there. Really not too many differences, but enough to be noteworthy, the face and the paint. Alrighty, and with that out of the way, let's get into the articulation. And funnily enough, this is where I think this figure also shines. The head is on like a ball joint, so you can get a full 360. You can look down a bit. You can look up a lot. The arms are all on ball joints, so you do get a rotation here at the shoulder. Then you get the ball joint here, so you can go up and down, you can go out, you can go in. You can also do a full 360 here, no wrist. But same thing for these arms. The legs can go forward, they can go back. They have some little rotation and front to back here due to technically transformation. So overall, this guy, you can actually get him in some pretty like gross looking poses because of how he looks, and plus his actually really solid articulation, especially for a core class figure. So that's one thing I cannot fault with this figure, is the articulation is actually really solid for just a little core class guy. Alrighty, and with all that out of the way, time to get into the reverse transformation, which is the worst thing about this figure. So starting off, we'll straighten him all out. Make sure he's straightened out, and then what I like to do is lift this entire back section, flip this up, then you can flip the gun and the turret barrel and that out, then just rotate this all the way up. Fold this down, fold that out, and then the legs, very simply, we'll just leave those for now. What you're going to want to do is bring these arms down. You're going to want to rotate them at the elbows, like so. Then do the same here. So you're going to actually, well, you don't even really need to. Just bring these down like so. Just bring him straight down. And then what you have to do is you'll see here, there is a tab here, and then there is a hole here. You have to essentially, like, do something along these lines where you push in, and then you kind of position them at an angle like this. Do the same here, and just be aware, these like to pop out very frequently, so just be very careful. Now what you're going to want to do with the legs, yeah, you can see this already popped out, and I didn't even do anything. This is why I do not like the turret modes. These do not, like, this is just the throwaway mode. It's there because it says Transformer on the box. So then the legs, very simply, all you gotta do is extend them out, untab them from where they were, and you just extend them out like so. Kind of straighten him out as best you can, like that. And ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Studios Series Rise of the Beasts Core Class Terrorcon Novokane back in his little turret mode. Alright, you guys, so for my final concluding thoughts on the Transformers Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Core Class Terrorcon Novokane, this guy is just okay. I mean, he's a cool core class figure. What I'll say, let's get some good out of the way. This guy's robot mode is really, really solid. His articulation is also good, and the paint is also pretty fantastic. So overall, when it comes to those metrics, this guy's pretty cool. However, everything else to me is just kind of meh. The transformation isn't really a transformation all that much to me, and it's just frustrating to get the tabs to go together very correctly, because they just like to fall off every so often. Also, despite the turret mode looking pretty cool from the front, the legs are just there, and they kind of look a bit ridiculous to me. They're just there. And again, it's a core class figure, so I totally understand, but that doesn't make it so that it looks good to me. Like, I'm not going to excuse the looks, because despite Noah, for example, being a core class figure, and I know the transformation isn't all that good because it's just him face planted, right? The modes, the individual modes still look really solid. For this guy, it's just the front of the turret here looks good. It's that back that doesn't look great. What I will say also a positive is that the playability with this guy is really cool. The fact that he has that interactions in terms of features with Scourge, both being a turret on the back of the truck mode as well as a gun in his robot mode, that is always really cool. But if you have Freezer, you guys know exactly what you'll have with this guy. It's the same thing, remold, a slightly remold, repaint. It's just nice to have both of them, so I'm going to have fun having both of them in my display. And again, I think the best case scenario for these guys is troop builders. I think they're going to be really cool troop builders. You can build an army of these guys, because I know that these won't be super popular amongst collectors. So just to be able to buy a ton of them, you'll probably be able to have a good spread of these guys as troop builders if you really wanted, like, to load up your Transformers Rise of the Beasts to display with some nice troop builder looking Decepticon, Terrorcon type things, right? So overall, when it comes to a score out of a 10, I'm going to give this guy a 6. It's okay. It's not awful. It's just plainly average. I don't have anything else crazy to say about this. So yeah, I did pick mine up on the Big Bad Toy Store, so leave a link in the description to that. Also leave links to Amazon as well as Hasbro Pulse, so you guys can take a look at those as well. If you do decide to hunt this guy IRL, I definitely wish you the best of luck. You should probably be hitting your retailers relatively soon. With that Legacy United wave recently being released, this guy shouldn't be that far behind. And so, if you do hunt this guy IRL, I definitely wish you the best of luck. And yeah, I think that's really about it for this review. So I thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Also follow me on the socials. Those will be linked in the description below. And with that, guys, and once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video review, and I will catch you on the next one. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.